What if I told you the most outrageous James Bond film wasn't part of the official franchise? Let's dive into Casino Royale 1967, the psychedelic parody that dared to take on the suave world of 007 and turn it completely upside down. This isn't the Daniel Craig version you know, it's something wildly different, based loosely on Ian Fleming's first Bond novel. Casino Royale reimagines the secret agent as a satirical playground of absurdity. The film throws traditional espionage out the window and replaces it with chaotic comedy, surreal visuals, and a level of camp that even Austin Powers would envy. But how did it come to be? The rights to Casino Royale were owned by producer Charles K. Feldman, who decided not to collaborate with the official Bond producers, Albert R. Cubby Broccoli and Harry Saltzman. Instead, Feldman envisioned a spoof that could cash in on the Bond craze of the 1960s. What he ended up creating was a star-studded, wildly uneven comedy that somehow remains iconic to this day. And when I say star-studded, I mean it. Peter Sellers, David Niven, Orson Welles, Ursula Andress and Woody Allen all appear, along with cameos from stars like Deborah Kerr and William Holden. David Niven plays an older retired Sir James Bond, the original 007, who's reluctantly brought back into the field to deal with the chaos caused by Smersh and a villainous Le Chiffre played by Orson Welles. But here's the twist. The plot involves multiple agents adopting the name James Bond as a cover, including Peter Sellers as a Baccarat expert. Speaking of Sellers, his performance is one of the most memorable, if not for all the right reasons. Sellers brings his usual charm and impeccable comedic timing, but behind the scenes, he reportedly clashed with Orson Welles and the directors. Yes, directors plural. This production was so chaotic that it had 5 different directors working on various segments of the film. The lack of cohesion shows, but it also gives the movie its bizarre, fragmented charm. The humour is as wild as the production. Casino Royale gleefully parodies everything about James Bond: the gadgets, the women, the villains, even the tropes of espionage itself. Ursula Andress, who had been a Bond girl in Dr. No, returns here in a completely absurd role as Vesper Lynd, while Woody Allen's turn as the neurotic and hapless villain Jimmy Bond, yes, James Bond's nephew, provides some of the film's most memorable lines. His final scene, where he accidentally swallows a pill and becomes a walking atomic bomb, encapsulates the movie's blend of slapstick and surrealism. But let's talk about the visuals. This film doesn't just play with the Bond formula, it explodes it with kaleidoscopic sets, colourful costumes, and dreamlike sequences that feel more like a 1960s trip than a spy thriller. The score by Burt Bacharach, including the hit song The Look of Love, performed by Dusty Springfield, adds a layer of sophistication to the madness. Despite its star power and ambition, Casino Royale was a critical mess on release, criticised for its lack of coherence and over-the-top absurdity. But over the years, it's become a cult classic, appreciated for its audacity, its humour, and its place in the Bond legacy. It's the Bond movie that doesn't take itself seriously, because it was never supposed to. So if you're a fan of James Bond, psychedelia, or just love seeing some of the greatest actors of all time in the most unexpected scenarios, Casino Royale is a must-watch. It's not the Bond you're used to, but that's exactly what makes it unforgettable.
Oh, you like that sort of thing, eh?